Hi. Let's talk about command of evidence textual questions. These questions are quite frequent on SAT. In every English module, you will see at least 2 or 3 questions that talk about this. These questions require you to provide evidence for an argument drawn in the passage. The argument can be a hypothesis or a claim. So once you read the text, your job is to find that argument, find the hypothesis or the claim, and once you start working on the answer choices, your job is to find an answer choice that completely supports that claim or provide evidence for that claim or the hypothesis. The wrong answer choices will be completely vague or will provide you irrelevant information. The right answer, you think, has to explicitly support the argument from the text. Let's try to understand how to deal with command of evidence textual question with an example from one of the college board mocks. So the question says, which finding, if true, would most directly support students' claim? So the question is asking you to find something, find an evidence that supports students' claim. So let's quickly have a look at the passage. Born in 1891 to a Quechua-speaking family in the Andes Mountains of Peru, Martin Chambi is today considered to be one of the most renowned figures of Latin American photography. In a paper for an art history class, a student claims, so here is your claim, that Chambi's photographs have considerable ethnographic values. So this is the claim. Chambi's photographs have considerable ethnographic value. In his work, Chambi was able to capture diverse elements of Peruvian society, representing his subjects with both dignity and authenticity. So the first sentence of the text talks about this person Chambi, and the next sentence talks about a student's claim about this person. Okay, so the student claims that the photographs have considerable ethnographic value. So this is your first aspect. So whatever evidence you're finding, the evidence should talk about some ethnographic value, and it should also talk about capturing diverse elements of Peruvian society. Let's look at answer choices one by one. So the first option says, Chambi took many commissioned portraits of wealthy Peruvians, but he also produced hundreds of images carefully documenting the people's sites and customs of indigenous communities of Andes. So talking about diversity here, because he's taking pictures of rich people also, and he's taking pictures of common people, indigenous people as well. So option A, we can hold on. Let's look at other options and see. Option B says Chambi's photographs demonstrate a high level of technical skills. Nowhere in the text we discussed his technical skills of photography. So option B, we can clearly cross out. There is no reference to any technical skills. Let's look at option C. During his lifetime, Chambi was known and celebrated both within and outside his native Peru. Now, this can be definitely true, but this is not what student claims. This is your trap answer. Okay, Chambi was well known. He was celebrated within and outside his native Peru. That is also fine. But this is not student's claim. So this one is, although supported by the text, is not your answer. Then option D says some of the peoples and places Chambi photographed had long been popular and subjects for Peruvian photographers. Again, we do not discuss any other photographers, and we don't know whether the subjects were popular subjects. So option D also can be crossed out. So the right answer here has to be option A, which says Chambi took many commissioned portraits of wealthy Peruvians, but he also produced hundreds of images carefully documenting the people's sites and customs of indigenous communities of the Andes. So, when you're working on these questions, guys, command of evidence textual questions, most important thing you have to remember that the right answer is not mentioned in the text. Okay, you have to provide evidence that is relevant to the text, but not mentioned in the text. So if you find anything mentioned, probably it is not the right answer, and you can't eliminate an answer choice just because it is not mentioned. You have to say it is irrelevant. For example, options B and D we eliminated because those things were not discussed in the text. Okay, and so definitely we can't provide evidence for that. We need to provide evidence what students claim. Student is not claiming anything about technical skills. A student is not claiming anything about subjects being popular. Option C we crossed out because although it is there in the text, it is not providing evidence. This is not what student claims. So right answer has to be option A here.